Hey, what's up, you guys? This is MorganLett, head astrologer over at MorganLettInsights.com and the Insiders Club. Welcome back to the weekly astrology forecast video. So in today's video, we are going to be discussing the major astrology, lunations, aspects, and transits for May 10th through May 16th. This week, we are going to be kicking off new moon week. So we are entering into a 4-week lunation period, starting with the new moon in Taurus, which will reach its peak at the 21st degree, which is ruled by Sagittarius, on May 11th. And we'll talk more about the Taurus new moon on May 11th. But overall, guys, this is a very informative week. This is a week where we are starting to step into our personal power. And what this looks like is through discipline, through patience, through perseverance, and through strategy. Especially because we're talking about the new moon in Taurus this week. We're in the process now of beginning on the road to eclipse season, with the lunation, with the full moon and total lunar eclipse happening in Sagittarius on May 26th, and then the corresponding new moon in Gemini, which is also going to be a partial solar eclipse. So there's a lot of transition and shaping that happens with this specific lunation. So this is a very important week to see what things are starting to move into physical form, to be very intentional, to be very patient, and again, to practice discipline. Also, again, taking your security more seriously, allowing yourself to rest more, allowing yourself to dream more, but also, again, keeping that level of practicality and essentialness that is so key to Taurus. So it's very important for you to find your balance this week. We are dealing with a energy that is ruled by Venus, so there is a lot of focus on fashion, on pleasure, on material items, on wanting more, on what you deserve, on what you have, on what you possess. So if any of those things are areas of concern or worry or inspiration for you this week, lean into that. Be willing to declare where you are ready for more, where you deserve more, or where you need to scale back and you're making space for more, which means that you are ridding yourself of things from your past and ridding yourselves of the insecurities and kind of moving away from the impulsiveness of Aries season, right? We've been in Taurus season for a while, but this is where we're really starting to get grounded in this energy. This is also a very mature new moon. It's in the later degrees in that third decan. So this is an area of Taurus's energy where things are more stable, things are more mundane. You have kind of come through that materialism phase of Taurus on, finding and associating your worth with what you have and connecting to physical assets. Now you're really wanting to create the sense of security and stability within yourself because the moon is here, and the moon always represents our emotions. It represents our intuitions. It represents how things are happening for us on an internal level. So with the sun and the moon being in alignment, there is highlight, there is illumination on those desires, on those intentions, on those goals, and now you can really start to manifest them into physical form. So this is the week where we start to plant the seeds, where we start to plant those intentions on things that we want to really evolve and grow and mature and sustain us for years to come. This is a period of perseverance and patience on really starting to adapt and connect those ideas and that fire and the inspiration and the creativity of Aries into physical form, right? We're wanting to bind them to something, make it more fixed, make it more tangible, make it more accessible, make it more logical. But you're also, with Neptune, we'll see with the new moon, there's going to be a lot of influence as well surrounding the creativities and really drawing inspiration and strength from those ethereal realms through the spiritual world, through your idols, through your ideals, through your sense of spiritual centeredness, right? That is where this level of tangibility is going to come from. So really building a bridge between the spiritual and the material realms is what this energy is really asking us to do. But we're going to see that it really requires us to think about the long-term vision, the bigger picture, and to really tap into what our truth is, what we're really trying to explore, what we're really trying to discover, because this new moon is going to be happening at the 21st degree of Sagittarius. So this is a very big week. We don't see any major transits, so no planets will be changing signs. Venus did move into Gemini on May 8th, and that was the last big planetary transit. So So let's go ahead and dive into the daily horoscopes for each day. And remember, guys, use your timestamps. Make sure that you're liking, subscribing, checking out all the details below, consultations, one-on-one readings, all of that information, how to work with me privately, how to get access to the exclusive community, all of that information is going to be found in the link in the description. So anyways, let's go ahead and dive into Monday, May 10th, and then of course we'll end with May 16th. And then at the end of the video, we will do some weekly messages for the signs. And this week, guys, because it's new moon week and because this new moon is so important, I'm going to be focusing the weekly messages specifically on the new moon. That way I don't have to go back and do another video for it. So make sure that you are checking out the weekly messages at the end of the video, because that is where your new moon message for your sign will be. So May 10th. So Monday, May 10th, this is a interesting day. Mercury is actually going to form a conjunction with Gemini. And again, guys, before I even start, if you want access to this Insights calendar with daily horoscopes and interpretations for the month ahead, this is a perk, a benefit of being an Insiders Club member. The notifications come straight to your phone. So it's almost like having an app, which is why I love Google Docs. So if you're interested and you want access to this calendar with the interpretations, make sure that you guys are becoming a member and getting access to that. I have went ahead and uploaded interpretations. I've gotten to like May 20th. So I'll be finishing up the rest of the month this week. Anyways, so Mercury again in Gemini is going to be conjunct the North Node at the 10th degree. And this aspect is going to be taking place on Monday at around 3:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So with Mercury representing the planet of thoughts, communication, how you exchange ideas, how you communicate, how you translate something, and the North Node representing your destiny, there is this sense of alignment in terms of your life purpose, how you want to express yourself, how you want to share your goals, how you want to share your thoughts, how you are going to interact, what you may be learning, certain skill sets that you may be adapting to. But for a lot of people, this has a lot to do with communication, really wanting to share your own individual voice, really putting a focus on language and podcasting and writing and blogging and vlogging, all of the things that are trending right now that are becoming a essential facet of every business, every idea, every project. A lot of this has to do with the North Node in Gemini, especially with Mercury being in Gemini at the 10th degree. We're really thinking about how we can utilize our skill sets, utilizing our communication styles to help us in terms of building a legacy, in terms of our public reputation, in terms of our public persona, in terms of our career, in terms of our vocation, in terms of the direction that your life is going in. You're wanting to really utilize your self-expression, your creative abilities, your ability to communicate, your ability to share, as a vehicle to do that, right? It's a vehicle to get to or to work in alignment with your higher purpose or your current life goal or your current life path. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's your end all be all, but this may be a vehicle or means to get you to where you're going. So pay attention to how you are utilizing your words and your communication styles and your ability to actively listen and your intuition in terms of the direction that your life is going. Really figure out how you can incorporate these Gemini-like activities into into your daily affairs. So just be mindful that you may be experiencing moments of synchronicity, due to something that you heard, due to something that you read, or due to something that you learned through an associate, like a neighbor or a friend. This is also a feeling of like awakening to your life purpose, really coming into alignment, coming into realization of what it is that you want to do. You may not be actively doing these things, you may not be putting these things in motion, but you are thinking about these things, or you are documenting these things, or you are making an intention to do these things. It's very important to you and apparent to you where you are wanting to share, where you're starting to feel like the messages and the synchronicity are starting to align and giving you this sense of direction, giving you the sense of purpose. So you really need to pay attention. Keep your eyes and your ears open. This is going to come through your social connections. This is going to come through something that you read, something that you take in, something that your friend says, something that you overheard, So be mindful around May 10th of the synchronicity of what you are feeling, of what you are hearing, of what you are uncovering, and how this is really playing a role in terms of the overall trajectory of your life path, your career, your vocation, your house of Capricorn, just because we're dealing with that 10th degree, which is ruled by Capricorn. Now, some lunations happening. The moon in Taurus will sextile Mars in Cancer. This is going to be happening at around 5:12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So there is a sense of unity in terms of children, and in terms of the home, and sense of comfort, and sense of materialism, and sense of feeling safe, and feeling grounded, and feeling loved, and feeling a sense of sustainability. This is a definite period where you really want to secure your foundation, and you're really finding assistance from Mars in Cancer to really nurture your goals. This is really dealing with, wanting to treat yourself to a gourmet meal, or wanting to treat yourself to spending some time with your family, or to really relax and rest, and to take some time away from the hustle and bustle. So this is a really good time emotionally for you to connect to those habits that really nurture your foundation, and nurture your security, and then nurtures your short-term goals. It gives you a sense of comfort and a sense of belonging, which is a big thing. So nurturing those habits, nurturing those behaviors that really support your consistency, that support your desire for stability, financial growth, economic growth, material growth, whatever it is that you're trying to seek or expand through your house of Taurus. Mars and Cancer really bring some assistance and support to that. So pay attention to what house Cancer rules in your chart, and what house Taurus rules in your chart, because you will find that certain habits and behaviors now, especially if you have children or dependents, or you care for children or anything like that, are going to be more prominent during this period. Also, people are going to be thinking more deeply about starting a family, or their traditions of their family, or upholding the beliefs of their family is going to be super important. Moon in Taurus is also going to conjunct Uranus in Taurus, and so this is going to be reaching its peak at around 6:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this is going to be occurring at the 11th degree. So with Uranus representing change and innovation, you're definitely in like impulse, spontaneity. There's definitely this feeling of restlessness emotionally, because there is this desire to switch things up. There is desire to really push forward, and this could be really coming from a friend, an extended family member, an associate, a group, a team member, something that you saw on social media, something that you saw on the internet, really wanting you to really put your heart out there and put your desires into physical form, and to start manifesting these things, and to start being open to change, and knowing that sometimes your desires are a little bit unconventional. This is a period where you are thinking outside the box, and you want things to happen very fastly, but you also you need to be mindful of your associations, and possibly some of the things that you're doing now can go a lot faster if you team up with someone. You also could be having like some really weird food cravings or combinations, or you're partnering with someone outside your normal sphere. But this is really just encouraging you to switch things up, and just be mindful, however, that you're not making too many spontaneous purchases, or that you're not doing things on a whim, that you're thinking about the longevity of your decisions, really thinking about the longevity of your decisions, and being mindful that any unpredictability at this time can kind of backfire, especially if it's not rooted in something that is very grounded in its nature. So you just need to be mindful of that, because this evening on May 10th at around 10:55 p.m., the moon in Taurus is also going to form a square with Saturn in Aquarius. And so you may find that Saturn is really bringing old habits and limitations and blockages, to your sense of worthiness, to your willingness to change, to your willingness to commit to those changes. So it's one thing to ask for change. It's one thing to wish for change or intend for change, but it's another thing to commit to it, and then to stay committed to it when those challenges and those limitations and those tests occur. And so at around 10:55, you may feel like you're tested, or you may feel like you're running into limitations or blockages or anything of that nature. And this is really just reminding you that you need to be more responsible for your material possessions. You need to be more responsible for your overall essential needs and your survival needs and your ability to really withstand change. Any limitations or delays may be intensified. You may have to do something that is very time consuming, that is very demanding, that is very physically demanding, and intellectually demanding on behalf of a group or behalf of your house of Aquarius. So just be mindful of that. That Monday night is a long night. If you start anything around Monday night, it's going to take a long time, or you're going to see that you may deviate from your routine temporarily to get something done. Excuse me, guys. I don't know why I'm so sleepy this morning. Maybe because I'm filming it on the day of the new moon, which isn't smart, but it needs to get done. So we're here. So May 11th, new moon day. So the new moon is going to be occurring on May 11th, and this is going to be happening at around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, guys, this new moon is going to be happening at the 21st degree, which is ruled by Sagittarius. So anytime we think about the Sagittarius degree, this is a degree that really encourages liberation, that encourages expansion, that encourages higher learning, that encourages freedom. And so breaking away from the limitations of Scorpio, breaking away from the heaviness of Scorpio is what Sagittarius degrees represent. And so for you, it's breaking away from the impulsiveness of Aries and breaking away from the instability of Aries and the resentment of Aries, and really finding ways to reconnect to your sense of self-worth, to your sense of self-dignity, to your skill set, to your assets, to your possessions, to your body, to your needs, to your sexuality. You're almost like coming home to yourself, especially with Mars and Cancer, moving away from its sextile with the moon in Taurus. This is definitely a feeling of reconnecting to your source of groundedness, really recommitting to self-discipline, recommitting to whatever behaviors and things like that you realize were a hindrance to you, or were debilitating to you, or would always suggest setbacks or encourage setbacks around the Scorpio full moon 2 weeks ago. This is an opportunity for you now to clarify on those goals. This is an opportunity for you to release those blockages and hindrances by setting new intentions under this Taurus new moon. So being mindful of the need for self-discipline, self-control, and more importantly, guys, self-accountability, really just being accountable for the things that you set yourself to, holding yourself accountable and allowing yourself to feel the gratification of when you do what you say. This is important for you to do what you say, promise what you say, deliver on what you say. And so that's why I was saying that, with this new moon, it's always better when we talk about Taurus to think about quality over quantity. Instead of you rushing out and trying to fulfill this order to put out this huge batch, do it in small batches, do it in small quantities, and allow the quality to build the increase in demand over time, right? Allow the surplus and things like that to be eliminated by scaling back and creating demand, creating loyalty, creating a sense of understanding around whatever it is that you're trying to sell or market or embody yourself. You really need to be patient with this new moon, especially with this being, again, at that 21st degree of Sagittarius. There is a breakthrough that is waiting to happen, especially with the full moon and I believe the full moon in Sagittarius. Let me just check and look. Is at a Leo degree, right? And so there is a sense of wanting to express your individuality, wanting to really put forth your personal touch, right? And this comes from one, like, in order for you to do that, you need to have financial stability so that you can move freely, so that you can take advantage of spontaneous opportunities that come your way. And so you need to be secure in who you are. You can't express your individuality and your personality, and at every turn and every nook and cranny you're looking for validation from the external world. So it's super important for you around this new moon to really get grounded in your vision of self, in your vision, in your higher meaning, in your truth, right? Which is Sagittarian in its nature, but it's also Taurus, because Taurus is the opposite of Scorpio, and it's very not, I don't want to say, it's very traditional in terms of its desires. And so you go about things in a traditional manner during this period, but Uranus's influence is really encouraging you to innovate. So I would really encourage you to think about how you can diversify something that you've already established. If you've already have an established business or an established income stream, this is your opportunity to really diversify and to refine, to better connect and to engage your audience due to the quality. This may also deals with timing, the timing of your sales, the timing of your releases, the timing of your restocks is going to be almost just as important right now as the aesthetic or the product itself. The actual details surrounding that launch, the details surrounding that innovation is what's really going to be a key focus for you guys during the new moon in Taurus. So just be mindful of that. Be mindful of where you are realizing that you talk down to yourself, or you are still stuck in scarcity fears, or you tell yourself that it's unrealistic, or you tell yourself that this is not possible, that I'm dreaming too big, or I need to dream more realistically. You can dream as big as you want to. It's ways to make anything practical. It just comes down to planning and research. And so for a lot of you, this is going to be a period where you should take advantage of the research allocated. You should take advantage of the public opinion that was collected from the past. And that's where we'll start to see the Pluto energy, the Pluto retrograde energy, with this new moon. Mars in Cancer is also going to be sextile Uranus on May 11th, and Mars in Cancer will also be square Chiron. So Mars is at, I believe, the 11th degree for both. Let me just make sure. Yes, so the Mars is at the 11th degree for Cancer, and it's square with Chiron. So there is this deep sense of wanting change, being able to really enforce change, especially when it comes to making improvements to a home, making improvements to a short-term project, making improvements to your savings fund, your retirement, your relationship with your children, repairing your home, anything like that. There are these improvements, but there's also this feeling of woundedness, right, where there is issues with women's rights, issues with personal rights, individual rights, feeling constrained, feeling confined to the home, feeling confined to your dependents, feeling confined to I'm cold, but I'm trying not to have my blanket in the video. But I don't care. Wanting to really overcome just like feeling confined, like wanting to overcome feeling like blocked in and limited, and like you have to hide something. When we think about Cancer, people don't realize that Cancer represents the fourth house, and the fourth house is the lowest part of your chart. It is literally the bottom of your chart. And so when we think about the fourth house, it's where you hide everything. It's where you store all of your secrets. It's where you store the things that are deepest roots to you, but that you really don't want anyone else to know. And so you were starting to identify, how these behaviors, where you're acting out emotionally, what is the underlying wound or trauma that is causing you to act unstable. Because Mars in Cancer, Mars falls in Cancer. Mars does not do well in Cancer. And so, you have a hard time staying grounded. You have a hard time asserting yourself. And so this is a period where you need to make those changes. You need to make positive changes to your habits and to your behaviors, especially through your house of Cancer. So looking at where Cancer rules in your chart is going to be super helpful when being able to delineate this energy. Now for May 12th, we'll see that the moon is going to leave Taurus. So the new moon in Taurus is going to now move and start waxing towards its crescent moon phase in Gemini. So when we talk about new moon rituals, guys, new moon rituals, and I'll send this out in the email, and I'll post it on the blog, so make sure you're checking out those as well. You're subscribed to the weekly insights newsletter. It's free, and also make sure you're checking out the blog. But this is whenever I try to do my new moon rituals and things like that, unless I feel really called to do anything on the new moon, I will always do my rituals and things like that when I can start to see the first glimpse of the moon. Because, like, for me, the moon is dark during the new moon. It's a time of darkness and seeding, of culmination, of incubation, all of those things. And it's super important for me. Like, I have found that I just enjoy my rituals better, and it tend to, I don't want to say manifest faster, but they feel more obtainable to me when I do them during the waxing crescent moon phase. So when I can literally look outside and I can see a little sliver of the moon, it's still really new, it's still dark, it still have that shadow where you can't really see it, but I can kind of see a glimpse of that crescent. That's when I start my new moon ritual. So just a tidbit for that. But the waxing crescent moon is going to be moving into Gemini. Gemini is the third sign of the zodiac. It is a mutable sign. So there is this feeling of flow and transition where things may have been feeling very stuck, very fixed, very rooted during the new moon in Taurus. Things are now starting to feel more fluid. Things are starting to feel more adaptable. You can start to put the energy and the joy and the playfulness behind these ideas, where Taurus is kind of serious, but like very calm and cool and like low-key funny, dry funny, sarcastic funny. Gemini is very social and lively and jolly. So there is this sense of understanding and connectivity now that comes with this moon in Gemini period. Now, before the moon moves into Gemini at 8:43 a.m., there are going to be multiple aspects with the moon in Taurus. So the moon in Taurus will trine Pluto and Capricorn at around 2:08 a.m. And then the moon in Taurus will square, its last aspect will square Jupiter at the 29th degree of Aquarius on May 12th, Wednesday, May 12th. So this last square really kind of sets the precedent for the day. So there is this feeling of overexpansion where you may find that your resources are being overstretched, or you may have become overly dependent on a group, or on the group's resources, or a group opinion, or on the collective, and there seems to be some misinterpretation in terms of how things are going to be allocated, how things are going to be shared. So it's super important for you that if this is the case, that you make sure you locate your contracts or your documents or anything like that that kind of proves how much you're supposed to pay, or how much you're supposed to give. If you do find that your resources are stretched, this is the best time to really focus on a payment plan, rather than doing things sporadically. Make things as fixed as possible and pay these things off in a short period of time. So just make sure that you are scaling back. This is not the time where you want to just increase. If you are making an investment, just make sure it's a well thought out investment that again brings long-term tangible results. You're again thinking assets over liabilities. So just be mindful, guys. The moon will be in a very short void of course period. It's only like 25 minutes. So this isn't anything to be too alarming. But the moon, it will conjunct with Venus in Gemini at that 4th degree of family. So there is this beautiful feeling of harmony and coming together in communication and closeness with family, and being able to really share ideas, being able to, really make, some people may be traveling, maybe moving homes, maybe running errands for the home, maybe running a lot of errands in terms of domestic abilities and trying to complete a task, or setting up a task, or doing research or talking to a consultant about a home, about an investment. Some of you may be doing an interview. There is a sense of connectivity that comes through Gemini and Venus's conjunction in your house of Gemini on May 12th. So just be mindful of that, guys. Now so May 13th is a beautiful day. I really like the energy of May 13th, guys. I really love the energy of May 13th because, and I don't think I talked about this a lot too, on really quick, guys, on May 12th, Mercury in Gemini is also going to form a trine to Saturn in Aquarius. So this is a period where Saturn is in Aquarius. Saturn represents our responsibilities, our limitations, our sense of vocation, where we are really managing our time, our discipline, how we are handling delays and the adult things in life. Saturn is very adult like. So Mercury in Saturn forming a sense of ease and bringing a sense of harmony and flow and structure to your ideas, your thoughts with this Mercury and Gemini is very helpful. So this is a period where tension, maybe some tension between family members, or tension between team members, or tension between friends, or tension between a group, or different concepts or theories or ideas, or anything involving like, you know, future projects or anything like that, technology, anything like that, guys, where there were some indifferences, where there was some blockages or delays with the new moon in Taurus. There is a sense of things flowing, you know, any deliveries that were blocked, any messages that were lost or misunderstood are now being able to flow a lot better, because we are adapting this detached perspective, right? Saturn in Aquarius brings a sense of emotional detachment. Mercury in Gemini brings a sense of emotional detachment. You're very focused on the facts today, and even on tomorrow, on May 13th, you're very focused on the facts. You're very focused on how things are said, how things are done. This is where you're kind of moving away from being so in tune with your senses, so in tune with your body, so in tune with your needs. And you can really start to put those things into action. You can really start to manifest and to start to build on those ideas. So just be mindful of that. Again, I think I even say here, like Saturn lends its resources and vision for the future. So you may find healing through the words or recordings of a friend, which is why, guys, you guys should really become an insight minute, because these interpretations are really helpful. I read them every day. They pop up on my phone, and I'm like, oh, this is why I feel that way. So just wanted to point that out on May 12th, that the Mercury and Gemini will also be trying Saturn. So any delays in terms of delivery, physical transportations, intellectual messages, written messages, letters in the mail, anything like that, when it comes to lawmakers or interviews or waiting to hear back from a resume, like all of those things like that are going to start to come into alignment around May 12th, but especially they will pick up steam around May 13th. So the first half of the week is very slow and sluggish, especially for like air signs and fire signs. But towards the end of the week, Wednesday and Thursday are beautiful days for air signs and fire signs to really come out of their shell and to take advantage. Earth signs should really take advantage of the energies on the 10th and 11th. Earth and water signs and earth and air and fire signs, the 12th and 13th are yours. So just be mindful that you are paying attention to how this energy really aligns and corresponds to your personal chart. Now, on May 13th, we'll see that the Sun in Taurus is going to form a harmonious and assisting sextile to Neptune. So Neptune is going to be giving some support and assistance to the Sun in Taurus. There is going to be, again, replicating some of the energies that were shown to us during the Taurus new moon, because this is going to be happening at the exact same degree, where the moon was in Taurus aligned with Neptune at the 22nd degree. Now the Sun, which is the illuminator, is coming back to bring its light to those internal dreams and desires. So whatever was manifested and intended, y'all, I'm telling y'all, on Monday and Tuesday, you will literally start to see that come into physical form on the 12th and the 13th, but you need to really spell it out. That way you can take action and you can really put the physical capacity to really manifest these things in the real 3D world. You want to make sure that it's tangible, something that you can touch. So being able to really find that balance, that cohesiveness through the physical and the spiritual realms is going to really come into play. So just again, pay attention to what intentions things start to manifest and appear for you in the real world on May 13th, because that's going to be a testimony to what's going to really be unfolding for you over the next 6 months to a year. Now, Jupiter, one of the biggest things that everyone keeps talking about this summer, which just happens typically, guys, every summer. Jupiter will preview in the next sign, and then it will move back into Aquarius once it stations retrograde. But Jupiter will be moving into Pisces. It will preview what we will bring and experience in 2022. So on May 13th until, I believe, July 28th at around 8:40 8:42 a.m. Jupiter is going to transit through its final sign and its domicile, which means its sign, and it's traditionally ruled. Jupiter traditionally rules Pisces until July 28th. So this is a very happy transit. Jupiter is happy here. Jupiter is comfortable here. Jupiter is at its home here. So Jupiter really does allow, instead of focusing so much on thought and theory and all of those things, this is a period where we're really starting to grow through rest, growing through spiritual development, growing through dreams, growing through a sense of compassion, a sense of empathy, a sense of servitude. This is really starting to show you where, especially when you look at where Pisces is in your chart, this is an opportunity for us to really tap into those more natural ways of bringing things into form. You know, where Jupiter in Capricorn, it was very physical. You put a lot of work into it. Even Jupiter in Aquarius, you know, you're having to put a lot of energy behind it just because of Uranus. But Uranus is now supporting Jupiter in Pisces. And so there is a sense of sustainability, and a sense of imagination and harmony that comes through the way that we grow, the way that we expand, the way that we really are starting to find our opportunities. Things are starting to come more through synchronicity. Things are starting to come more through intuition, where you know your efforts, your consistent efforts, are going to start to manifest things over time, rather than you having to fight for things or to combat. You're really learning how to attract situations to you by focusing on your own frequency, by focusing on your key strengths, by focusing on your key talents, by lifting others up, by uplifting. And so there is this sense of, again, you know, being a lot of focus on prison reforms and the medical system and the healthcare system and all of those things like that. There is going to be this sense of reimagination. There's going to be this focus on how these people are treated, the resources that we're allocating towards these private institutions, to these isolated society institutions that are like the underlying hidden fabric of our world, right? You know, the prison system, man, I could talk about that all day because it's so deep. But that's the type of thing. It's that's why it's ruled by Pisces, because it's something that is very prominent in our society, but it is hidden. And so this is where we're going to start to see, some of you may even start to have hidden talents, things that you know have lied dormant, or things that you have overlooked, or things that you have been ashamed of, are going to start to really rise to the surface. And those talents, those skills, those acts of selflessness, those passions are going to be your areas of opportunity. So just pay attention to what your spirit is asking for. Pay attention to the synchronicity of the next couple of months, the things that are you're naturally gravitating to, things that are naturally attracting you, opportunities that are coming to you in a very philanthropic or healing way. An excellent period for healers, spiritualists, anybody working with, you know, consulting or addictions, anything like that. This is going to be a very beautiful time to work on that, or to gain more exposure if that is your niche. If that's your niche and you felt like your niche is taboo, or your niche is something that is overlooked, this is going to be a period where you may start to find that those overlooked taboo niches are going to become more prominent, just because Jupiter is in Pisces, and Pisces rules formlessness, the unknown, that which is not seen but is not necessarily hidden. It's just maybe misunderstood, or so formless that people don't really, you can't really put it into some sort of description, right? And so again, there's going to be more affluence and emphasis towards the healing arts. I just want to make sure I'm hitting all the topics. Oh, and again, too, guys, be mindful of your dreams during this period. I'll definitely do something for Jupiter and Pisces. I haven't figured out or brainstormed the type of content that I want to create for it, but when I do, I'll let you guys know. But this is definitely a period for you to really invest in your rest, invest in your meditation, invest in your spiritual practices, invest in your altar. This is also a period to invest in a new mattress, because there's a lot of productivity that comes from getting rest. A lot of people are going to find a lot of their imagination and their best moments come through their sleep. So investing in a mattress or making sure that you have a comfy bed is going to be key for a lot of folks. Now, this is again a beautiful day because we'll see the moon in Gemini conjunct the North Node in Gemini. This is going to be happening at around 6:30 a.m. So you're going to be waking up this morning feeling very in alignment, or having this experience or having a conversation that really just gives you this moment of like, this is it, like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is the messages I've been waiting for. This is my moment to really just say yes to whatever it is that is coming to you. So pay attention to whatever intuitions and things like that are sticking out to you. The next thing we'll see is that the moon in Gemini will sextile Chiron. So again, there's some sort of healing that takes place. There is some sort of sting, some sort of bitterness, some sort of resentment that is released during this period. So just be mindful of where you are being able to share your voice and where you're not afraid to put yourself out there, or where you're finding encouragement or support or accountability through your peers. That is going to bring a sense of healing into your life. And then we'll see the moon in Gemini trine Saturn Aquarius. This is going to kind of give some of the same vibes that Mercury in Gemini gave when it trine Saturn in Aquarius. So there is a sense of removing blockages and removing delays. This is also a period where you may find that there is more focus around holding meetings, more focus around documentation, making sure that there is structure, putting things in order, finalizing a plan, finalizing a promotional materials, finalizing a book. This is something where you're really getting your materials in order to be able to publish or to be able to promote or to project or do whatever it needs to do to bring more attention to yourself and your house of Aquarius. And then lastly, we'll see that the moon in Gemini is going to conjunct Mercury in Gemini. So there's a lot of new energy happening, new books, new podcasts, new blogs, new ideas, filming. This is a very important create day. So if you want to create this week, Thursday is your day. It's also Jupiter day, so it's a very opportunistic day. Jupiter just moved into Pisces, so just be mindful of that. Thursday is the day to kind of like launch into something fun and creative and to get some forward movement, because we're going to see that the sun in Gemini is going to directly, wait, that's Friday. No, that's not Friday. This is yeah, I was jumping ahead, guys. So we'll see though that the moon in Gemini will square Neptune in Pisces. So this is where Fridays where things get really foggy. So Friday is a day, and I believe the moon is void, of course, all day. So you want to finish up whatever work that you need to put out, whatever you need to do. You need to do that on Thursday. Wednesday would be the day where I say brainstorm, get all your thoughts out, get all everything written out. You know what I'm saying? You're coming away from the Taurus new moon. You have your intentions. You know what your plan is. Do your plan. Make sure you're looking at the blog to make sure what your ritual would be for that. And then on Thursday, this is going to be your day to kind of get the content created, put things out there, get this thing started. Friday, no, don't do nothing on Friday. Don't travel. You're going to miss the flight. You could send out, if you're sending out emails or working on Fridays, things get lost, things get broken. You could hurt your hand, you could hurt your toe. You could fall out your bed in your sleep. Like, I'm serious, y'all. Like, it's so weird. So just make sure that like Friday is a chill day. The moon is void, of course, all day. Don't be trying to send no emails. Don't be sending out no pitches. Don't be sending out promotions. Don't be sending out no contracts. Don't be doing it. I'm trying to tell y'all, this is not the day for that. Okay, this is not it. If you got to do anything, I still wouldn't do it. But if you have to do anything, it's going to be Friday night. Friday night is where like, but moon in Cancer is going to be trying Jupiter in Pisces. So no, you need to rest. You need to sleep. You need to relax. You need to, you may be sharing something. You may be sharing an announcement, but this is a period where you just need to rest, relax, indulge in some, some whatever makes you feel good. Self-care, take a bubble bath, take a nap, light your incense, put on your ocean waves, do some meditations, spend time with your family, spend time with your loved ones, do something special for your amour, whatever it is, just do something chill Friday night, but really go to sleep. If you can, go to sleep early, watch a movie, if anything. But this is a day where you do not want to save the bulk of your work. Do not save it for, don't save it for this weekend. Make sure that you get the best days for productivity, even though you could be feeling a little scattered, is the 12th and the 13th. Now that may uh change based on your personal placements. Like if you're someone with strong mutable placements, then of course the moon in Gemini is going to square or oppose all your mutable placements. So that may be very conflicting for you. So that's why it's important when we're doing these videos so y'all know y'all chart. If you're someone with a lot of water, and things like that, or earth, you may find that this weekend is supportive. But just because, let's see what's happening. Yeah, just because the moon is going to be square, I think this is Chiron. Yeah, Chiron, and it's going to sextile Uranus. Yeah, this is definitely, a weekend where water and earth signs may feel more productive. So if you feel strained, water and earth signs, the 12th and the 13th, don't do anything on the 14th. You may feel the sense of relief and productivity for movement on the 15th and the 16th. So just be mindful of that. Now, May 15th is going to be a day where we still don't see any major planetary aspects. I don't think we'll see another major planetary aspect to the 17th. Yeah, and then we'll see two. Yeah, we'll see two. So on the 15th, we'll see the moon in Cancer square Chiron and Aries at the 11th degree. So again, there's these wounds, guys. These wounds, this feeling of family wounds, feeling isolated, maybe having issues with your mother. Again, you may be feeling very tired dealing with your children. You may find it very difficult to stay balanced. You may feel like you're very emotional, you're very unstable. You may find that your moods are quickly fluctuating and you're snappy. So Saturday night, you could easily get into it with someone if you're not careful, because like right after the moon in Cancer is going to sextile Uranus and Taurus. So there is a sense of urgency. There is a sense of spontaneity. I need to do this now. And so rather than you forcing your way through a situation or asserting your way or attacking someone, find very nurturing ways to convince someone to do what it is that you want to do, or find nurturing ways to make the changes that you want to make, because you can really have a very strong and harsh emotional reaction to something around 8:22, and then 20 or 30 minutes later you're going to realize that there was a more innovative, a more solvable solution to this. So for a lot of you, Saturday is a day of just like having patience and just keeping an open mind, and also keeping your mouth shut. There's going to be a period this weekend where like we're moving closer and closer to Mercury's retrograde. People are having a harder and harder time actively listening and practicing responding rather than reacting. So again, just like make sure that you're not jumping to conclusions. You're not jumping to anger. That if you do feel frustration or you feel this temptation to snap on Saturday, that you remind yourself that a solution is coming right afterwards. So just stay grounded, because you may be receiving like an investment or a return on a home, something that you're going to see an increase, right? It could be an increase in expenditures because you're upgrading your home. It could be a decrease in expenses because your income stream is increasing. It could be that you're receiving help from a partner or a spouse or a parent. But this is really a period where you're going to start to see, if you can just stay grounded and stay patient, you will start to see more favorable returns on your investments. So just be mindful that you don't make a decision too quickly, or you don't pay something too quickly, or you don't send something off too quickly, because there could be some negative consequences to that, rather than you just trying to stay patient and waiting for that solution to come later that day. Now, the last thing we'll talk about is May 16th. The moon is going to conjunct Mars in Cancer. So this is the period where you will definitely start to see some forward movement in your house of Cancer. Cancer naturally deals with family and home and foundation and privacy. So this is going to be dealing with how you are breaking land, building a home, how you are recreating or reimagining your foundation, your core, your lineage, learning about your ancestry, learning how your behaviors you know, releasing some of the generational patterns or releasing generational curses, or choosing to breaking new ground and building new foundations when it comes to your family, when it comes to your house of Cancer, really starting to build a new foundation. And, you know, noticing how that energy really affects yourself and also how it affects other people. And then that afternoon, the moon in Cancer is going to trine Neptune in Pisces. So there is this feeling of, again, sleepiness, wanting to really just slow down, wanting to dream, wanting to spend time with loved ones, wanting to spend time with family members, feeling very sensitive, feeling very sentimental. Some of you may be going down memory lane, and some of you may be going to a funeral. Some of you may be laying someone to rest. Some of you may be, you know, spending time near the water, or feeling very emotional, feeling very rocky, feeling very in tune with your body, feeling very in tune with your intuition, feeling very, very in tune. So this is a very beautiful day for just overall intuition and your emotions, you know, being very in alignment with your instincts and with your reactions. So just be mindful. This is a very intuitive day, where you can really start to see some foresight and start to receive a lot of ancestral guidance or internal guidance, through your meditations and through your stillness. So just take a moment, you know, take a moment to really reconnect to your living and to your dead. And that concludes, guys, the weekly forecast, the daily horoscopes portion. So I will see you guys over on the next segment, where we talk about the energies for the week for your sign. And again, this week we're going to be focusing on the new moon. So I'll see you there. Hey, air signs, what is up? This is Morgan with your weekly message. And Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, this is for you. So this week, guys, remember, we're focusing on the new moon for this week's energies. And I will talk a little bit too about just like how things will progress, but focusing mainly on the new moon. So for air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, this new moon is going to be occurring in your water houses. So this is going to be highlighting your fourth house, your eighth house, or your 12th house. And so there is this sense of ending, right? There is a sense of emotional loss, transformation, healing. There is this deep feeling of like your needs, right? And wanting to meet your needs and wanting to have your needs met, but also knowing that for Gemini and for Libra, this forms an inconjunct. For Gemini, this is like a semi-square, and for Aquarius, this is a direct square. So there is also this underlying feeling of tension. This isn't an easy transition. This isn't like the new moon in Gemini, where things are going to be a lot harmonious, things are going to be a lot flowy, things are going to be a lot more fluid for you. This is where things are like really rigid, things are tough. You're in this feeling of like feeling stuck, but also knowing that you have no other choice but to move forward. So for a lot of air signs this week, it's about surrender. To be honest, it's surrendering to the fact that you cannot control this situation, but at the same time knowing that you have choice. So that it's also like reminding you that, look, this situation, it may be uncomfortable. This situation may be bring sorrow. Like you may be sad. You may feel really starting to see where you have unfinished business, unfinished resentment, where you may still be suffering from insecurity, or where you may have a hard time asserting your no or asserting your yes. But at the same time, it's showing you that a lot of the animosity or the frustration or the sadness that you feel is based on your choice to do this or not to do whatever it is that you're feeling. Like you have a choice this week, and your choice is kind of like, you've chosen to do this, you've chosen to take this on, you've chosen to take on this commitment, you've committed to this process, you've committed to this journey. Now you just kind of need to suck it up and you need to see it through. And so for a lot of air signs, this is a week of grit, where you really like have to tap into the animalistic part of you, because there is no, like, it almost feels like there is no direct outlet. Like you can't really see where things are going to change or where things are going to come together for you. You have a really hard time looking into the future and feeling optimistic right now. And it's not to say that you're depressed or that things are bad for you. It just means that you have to work hard this week to step into this feeling of gratitude. Now that will kind of evolve and change as the moon waxes on and starts to move into Gemini and forms a lot of those beautiful conjunctions and trines and sextiles. So there will be a sense of relief for you on Wednesday and Thursday. So those are going to be the best days for air signs to really tap in and to really feel like themselves and to get something done. So if you feel very low and you feel like you're having to force and struggle your way through something on Monday and Tuesday, do what you need to do, but don't push yourself. It's almost like do the bare minimum and give yourself time to rest, give yourself time to recuperate, give yourself time to feel what you feel. But this is also not an invitation for you to mope. This is an invitation for you to accept responsibility and accountability by feeling what you feel and choosing to move on anyway. So it's almost like you again are having to tap into that part of you where is that self motivation? Where is that self accountability? Where is that self determination? Where is that persevering spirit that air signs are really having to lean on this week? You really need to persevere. You're going to have to overcome your past. You're going to have to overcome these self-limiting habits and abilities behaviors that limit you from stepping into the fullness of your potential, that really that stop you from getting your needs fully fulfilled. And if you're in a position where you're like, well, Morgan, my needs are fulfilled, and this is an opportunity for you to refine those and to practice gratitude and appreciation for your self-discipline. Honor yourself, reward yourself, remind yourself how far you have come, remind yourself about the journey. This is where you almost need a progress tracker. Air signs this week need a progress tracker to keep you motivated, to keep you grounded, because if you don't feel like you're making a progress, then you really are going to have a hard time even following through. So really finding a way to track your progress and to document your progress and to reward yourself and to punish yourself, guys, sorry, when you don't do what it is that you promised yourself that you would do. There is a sense of leisure and comfort and relaxation that comes with this new moon's period, but we're also going to make it a break it time too, air signs, where if you want change, if you want the lifestyle that you deserve, if you want the relationship or the love or the family or whatever it is that you deserve, the financial freedom that you deserve, the flexibility and the recognition that you deserve, then you yourself have got to work for it. And that's not a one-time thing. Air signs are going to have to it's hard for air signs to get in the habit, except for Aquarius, but it's hard for air signs to really get into this habit of doing the same thing over and over and over again. Even Aquarius gets really bored, but especially Gemini and Libra. And so for air signs this week, this is a feeling of mundaneness. You're really working through this feeling of like, I'm doing the same thing over and over again. Where is the excitement in my life? And the excitement will come, but you need to work for it. And that's just what I have for y'all this week, is that yes, the excitement will come. Yes, it's important to play, but a lot of air signs need to really stop complaining about what it is that they want and stop feeling sorry for yourself and start holding yourself more accountable for what it is that you receive and what it is that you're attracting. Because a lot of it has to do with your frequency. And coming out of this frequency of depression and anger and resentment about your choices and your decisions that led you here is not going to change anything. You just need to kind of accept that you did what you did, you said what you said, or you decided what you decided, and now it's figuring out how to make the best of the situation or how to get the hell out of it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't need to be there and that's not the decision that you want to take, then that's something that you need to decide for yourself. But a lot of air signs too need to be mindful of other people's opinions persuading them or persuading their emotions when you know that you know better for yourself. You know better. You know better to then go back down that path or to send that text or to reach out to that person. You know better. So it's important for you to hold yourself accountable to that this week, okay? Because there is so much rewards for you around the Sagittarius full moon, and especially around the Gemini new moon, if you can just hold yourself accountable and practice that self-control and self-discipline and really get your emotions in order so your emotions do not rule and overrun your productivity levels. That's going to be key. So I love you, air signs. All right. Okay, fire signs. How are you guys doing, fire signs? I hope you guys are well. So this is a very interesting time for fire signs, right? You are really moving into this energy of like not really Like, this is dealing with your finances. Like, this is dealing with your security. This is dealing with your possessions. And so for a lot of you, this is an energy where you have to think about what it is that you want for yourself, right? You have to think about what it is that what you want to work towards. Like, what is it that you're trying to reach? Like, for a lot of fire signs, I think in the past you wanted more, you wanted more money, you wanted more prosperity, you wanted more recognition, you wanted more resources, you wanted more contracts, you wanted more partnerships. But now you're starting to realize that, like, this energy is really asking you to place labels on what it is that you're trying to uncover, on what it is that you are trying to manifest for yourself when it comes to your work, when it comes to your daily routines, when it comes to your career. You need to really ground down and think about these things. Like, what is it that you are trying to uncover for yourself? What is it that you're working towards? What is the result of your finances? What is the result of your weight loss? Like, what is the result of it? And I think once you can start to put labels on your why, and listen to that full moon ritual where I'm saying identify what it is you want, and then identify why do you need it, why do you want it? Because for a lot of fire signs, that why is going to keep you going. That why is going to give you sustenance. That why is going to give you discipline, because you have the passion for it. This is something that you really want to commit yourself to. But I think you need to put some more details around your why. You need to be very intentional about the work that it is that you're trying to do. Who is it going to serve? Who is it going to help? What value is it going to bring to someone's life? That is where a lot of fire signs, like, having more money is nice, but what is that going to do for you? How is that going to give you more freedom? How is having more money going to give you more freedom? How is having a better job going to give you more freedom? How is having a better work-life schedule going to give you more freedom? What are you going to do with that freedom? What are you going to do with that money? What are you going to do with that relationship? What are you going to do with that partnership? What are you going to do with it? That is where you are going to find your source of connectivity. That is where you're going to find your source of commitment. And that is where you're going to find your stability. Your anchor is going to be not because you said, okay, well, I said I'm going to do this by such and such date. That's easy. That's so easy for you to procrastinate, right? But if you know, hey, I want to lose 35 pounds because I want to be able to run up the mountain with my kids, or I want to be around for my children 10 years from now, or I want to be able to run a marathon, that's motivation. That is going to wake you up in the morning every day. Not, I want to lose 35 pounds. Okay, why? What are you going to do with that? What is the reward? What is the consequence of not doing that? The consequence is you're not going to be able to run. You have to walk. You're not going to be able to go up to the mountain with the top of your kids. You're going to sit at the bottom and hold bags. So it's important for you to really identify what it is that you're seeking towards. What are you striving? What is that going to bring? What is this new job going to bring you, Leo? What type of you're manifesting it? It's happening. Sagittarius are moving into new homes, and having new resources. And this is a period where you really need to ask yourself, why? What is it going to do for you? What is this really going to what is this movement, what is this going to do for you? How is this going to help you in the long term? So it's important for you when it comes to, like, your career and your vocation and all of these different things. When it comes to these material houses, these earth houses, you have to be specific about what it is that you want to, how you want to use these intentions, how you want to utilize these resources, how are you going to put them into physical form, how are you going to make this tangible, what are you going to do with this new job? Especially my Leos. Aries, this is a period where you need to be mindful about your possessions and your finances. And yes, you may be wanting to expand your portfolio, but why? What is the upgrade for? You're adding on what for? How is this helping? What is the purpose? What value is this extension bringing? Sagittarius, your health is so important to you right now. What are your health goals? Why are you trying to be healthy? Why are you recommitting to your daily routines? Why are you recommitting to your mental health? What is the purpose behind this? What is the reasoning? What need is being fulfilled by this intention? That is where fire signs are going to find their strength this week, is labeling it, putting a label on your expectations, putting a label on your intentions. Don't just write them down. Why? How do you get there? What's the purpose? What value is this bring? How do you want to serve? What do you want to get from it? You need to be very clear about what you want to get from this. How are you being fulfilled? How does this serve you? Don't be worried about nobody else right now. How does it serve you? How does it serve your fundamental needs? How does it bring tangible sustainability to your life? That is where fire signs need to feel this energy. So, sorry guys, it took me a second to kind of figure out what spirit wanted me to say with y'all. But anyways, I love you. Have a great week. All right, earth signs. This is a beautiful energy for you because this is trying you. So this is highlighting your creative houses. This is highlighting your passion houses. This is highlighting the areas of your life that are focused on self, that are really about you. So this is a fun time. This is a period of self-discovery. This is a period of exploration. For some of you, this is a period of travel. This is a period of new beginnings and new opportunities, new skill sets, new classes, new trainings, new belief systems, new ideas, new goals, new visions. You're really expanding. For a lot of earth signs, you're expanding on something. You're really asking, how can I make this my own? How can I take this and make it my own? How can I take this and make it tangible? How can I take this creative idea and manifest it in the 3D realm? A lot of earth signs are really tapping into their desire to create, to share, to project. You're wanting to be seen. You're wanting to come out of your hole. If you've been hiding, if you haven't been posting, if you haven't been interacting, if you haven't been around friends, if you haven't been feeling very joyful and playful, if you've been kind of serious, this is an opportunity for you to kind of let some of that out, for you to really utilize these new skill sets that you've been harboring, these new possessions, these new things, these ideas that you have been just tucking away and waiting for the perfect moment. This is your time, earth signs, to really step outside of those things and figure out what it is that you're ready to manifest. What's your dream life, earth sign? What's your dream job? What's your dream passion? What's your dream hobby? Some of you need a hobby. Don't worry so much about, some of you are overworking. Not some, most of you are overworking. You're drained from work. Work is draining you. You need a life outside of your work. You need to get creative. You need to get passionate. You need to spend more time with your kids. Some of you have been neglecting your kids for work. Stop neglecting your kids. Stop neglecting your family. Stop neglecting your loved ones. Stop focusing so much on your work, your money. You need to connect with real people. You need to connect with your passions. You need to do something that you love. You need to laugh. That is going to increase your productivity. When you go back to work, you're going to go back to work feeling nourished and fulfilled and sustained, because you're doing something that you love, and it has nothing to do with money. Some earth signs need something that has nothing to do with money, nothing to do with business, only involves you and what makes you happy. What makes you happy, earth sign? What makes you feel like you? What makes you feel seen? What makes you feel cared for? What makes you feel nourished? What makes you feel wanted? What makes you feel valuable? What makes you feel creative? All of those different entities are asking for you to merge those together and to create something sustainable. If you are wanting to worried about your work, how can you integrate your creativity or imagination or your source of divinity with your job? How can you bring more color and creativity to your work? Is it time to some of you may need a vacation. Some of you need to take some time off. You may not need to take a class. You just need a change of scenery. Some of you need to get back outside. You need to go on a hike. You need to go camping. You need to get reconnected to nature. Some of you may be falling back in love with food. You may be cooking more. You may be juicing. You may be really taking your physical appearance and your physical aesthetics more seriously. You're putting more interest behind how you look, the colors you wear, the perfumes you wear, the colognes you wear. You're putting more emphasis behind that. Some of you may need to look into specializations. Maybe you're ready to specialize in your niche. Maybe you're ready to broadcast that. You're ready to broadcast where you are ready to transform the work, or you're looking to enroll. Just because the Sagittarius full moon lunar eclipse is going to be hitting y'all's houses of endings and transition, you may be looking to take classes or get the training to prepare yourself for this promotion or to prepare yourself for this advancement. You're in this preparation process. You're putting together the pieces to get ready to receive a new opportunity. So just be mindful, Earth signs, that this week is all about you putting yourself out there. You need to put yourself on. You need to send out emails. You need to send out promotions. You need to market yourself. Earth signs need to market yourself. Market yourself. Okay? So I'm going to wrap it up with water signs because I'm getting sleepy. All right, water signs, you are feeling so super assisted for this energy. Excuse me. With the Taurus new moon this week, forming some harmonious sextiles. Except for Scorpio, you feeling opposed. This is an opportunity for you to really focus on your relationships. This is a relationship week for my Pisces and my Scorpios and my Cancers. Some of you are realizing your bad habits when it comes to relationships, feeling stuck in the past, staying where you feel comfortable, and you realizing that you may want to venture out. You may want to try something new. Some of you may have tried something new and you're like, this ain't for me. And now you're ready to come back to your tried and true. You've gone through those progress steps. You went through the whole thing with Aries. You gave it a chance. You tried it out. You experimented, and it's not for you. So you're coming back to what feels comfortable. You're coming back to what feels good. You're coming back to what sustains you, what feeds you, your sure thing, right? A lot of water signs are coming back to their sure thing, the thing that that feels right to you. Some of you are coming back into contact with old friends that really reaffirm your sense of self-worth, your sense of self-value. Some of you may be pouring into a friend. You may be a source of divinity, a source of inspiration for a friend this week. Or you may be leaning on a friend or supporting a friend or going on a vacation with a friend or traveling with a friend or investing with your friends, with a relationship, with a partner. Doesn't have to be a friend, it could be your partner. You could be investing with a partner, going into business with a partner, purchasing or gifting something to your partner. There is a strong focus on relationships and connecting with people. Wanting your relationships, you're more focused on creating relationships of longevity. If you're networking or wanting to establish connections and meeting new people, this is an excellent week to really, to highlight what it is that you're looking for. How can other people help you? I think that's the biggest thing for Pisces this week is spell it out. Write out how other people can help you, how other people can assist you, how other people can uplift you, how other people can support you, how other people can encourage you. How do you need to be loved? How do you need to be cared for? How do you need to be stimulated? How does that stimulation express your sense of self-worth? Really asking yourself these questions like, how I feel about myself reflect how I feel about my relationships? Or how do I feel about myself, or how do I treat myself, or how do I respect myself reflected in how others respect me, or how others treat me, or how others talk to me, engage with me, connect with me? Becoming aware of these things is really going to be helpful for you this week when you really ask yourself and you start to set these new intentions for this Taurus new moon, activating these social houses. You're really asking yourself, how do these things pertain to who I am and what I'm trying to do? But again, this is going to be a period for you to really ask for help and to really reevaluate when it comes to your relationships, and to connect with people on a new level, and to connect with people from a new perspective, and to set these boundaries and set these expectations, not only for yourself, but for others, on how they should treat themselves. You don't want to be with nobody who don't love themselves. So setting expectations not only for you, but for how your partner treats themselves is key. Pay attention to how people treat themselves, because that's how they're going to treat you. And be mindful that you're not contradicting what it is that you say. What you say and how you treat yourself need to align. They need to match up. So if you feel like you're saying one thing and you're doing another thing, then you may need to check yourself, because there is a sense of assistance and groundedness that comes where, you know, for the first time you may be feeling more emotionally stable, more emotionally secure, except for Pisces, because Mercury and all, because of Gemini is squaring your mutable placements. But this is an opportunity for, you know, for you to really ground into your relationships and to stop being in situations that you know don't serve you from the beginning. Work relationships, business relationships, sexual relationships, no longer entering relationships from the beginning that you know don't serve the purpose that they need to serve. So all of these things are super important, guys, when we are talking about the Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio weekly messages. So make sure you guys are liking and subscribing, and I will see you guys next week. Happy new moon. Also, make sure you become a member and support the work, guys, and book your consultations for May and June. Peace. Love ya. Bye.